This video will show you how to create an invoice at InvoiceSA. First, go to invoicesa.com and click Login at the top right. Fill in your details on the login page. I've done this before, so my login details are saved. I suggest ticking the Remember Me block here. It'll make signing in next time quicker. Then click Sign In. This is your dashboard. At the bottom is an option to create a client. But what I want to focus on now is creating an invoice, a quote, or a job card. These all work the same way, so I'm going to show you how to create an invoice. Click Create Invoice. You will see your business details at the top. There is a line Invoice Type. I'm going to tick this drop-down box, and in it you'll see three invoice types: invoice, pro forma, and credit note. I'm going to leave mine as invoice. You can select any one that suits you. Invoice details, there is already an invoice number and there's already a date. Where it says exclude VAT, I'm going to click the drop down arrow and select include VAT because this business is registered for VAT. Select the client. I'm going to select the client. Well, there isn't a client, so I'm going to tick that. Then I'm going to select add new client. Client name, let's say this work was done for Mary Joan or Mary Hobbs. Client email, I'm going to add my email address so I can show you how an email is sent and received with an invoice. Client cell number, I'm going to add my cell number so I can show you how WhatsApp with an invoice is created. If your client is registered for VAT, you can enter a VAT number. Click Create. You have now created a client. Product name, let's say you replaced a geyser. Quantity 1, unit price 7,500 Rand. Let's add another product or service line. You could add copper pipes, seals, whatever you've used. I'm going to write labor. 2 hours of labor to install the geyser, 650 Rand per hour. If you scroll further down, you'll see a block for notes. Here you can write what work you did. I'm going to say replaced first geyser. Click Create Invoice. The system is now busy thinking while it makes your invoice. Your invoice has been created. If you scroll down, you'll see a few things that I want to show you. First is a small red block that says unpaid. Well, if your client is paid, you can change it. Let's click here, mark as paid. I've clicked there. Great, payment has been stored. If you scroll down now, that block now says green paid. Underneath that, it says not emailed to client. So let's email an invoice to your client. Simply click email to client. You've created the client's details with the email address, so it will automatically email the client now. Your invoice has been emailed to the client. Okay, let's go and look at the invoice by email. There, it has been received. You have received an invoice from Greg. Hi Mary Hobbs, you have received an invoice. Here is the attachment I will click to show you what the invoice looks like. Here you can see the invoice. At the top right, it's marked paid. I'm zooming in a little bit here so you can see these are the items we put on the invoice, geyser and labor. What is interesting is at the bottom, payment link. That link enables your customer to pay you via credit card. If they tick that, they simply need to fill in the credit card details and they can pay you. And coming soon, you will be able to accept credit card payment simply with a tap on your phone by the customer's credit card. I'm now going to go back to InvoiceSA. And now, what if I want to WhatsApp the client and not email? You can see there's a WhatsApp block. Simply click the WhatsApp block. It's creating the WhatsApp now. There, your WhatsApp has been created. I'm going to send it. That link you see is a link to the same invoice I just showed you. I'm now going to go back to InvoiceSA. If you want to do an invoice for your next customer now, you'll see there's no Create Invoice button anywhere here. You need to click the menu at the top left. That is 3 lines. It opens up a menu. On that menu, there are a number of options. Invoice, invoice listing, create invoice. In fact, let's say it's not an invoice you want to create a quote. If you scroll down, quotes, quote listing, create quotes. Let's click create quote. Now, in the same way you created an invoice, you can create a quote.